What's good, everybody? This is take 3 of podcast number 3. I could try to take the whole entire time, but I'd rather just do different parts of the podcast. Today it's going to be Matthew McConaughey, so hey McConaughey, if you're listening to this, you're a big mate. Look at that. I'm going to do a Mark Manson for day number 4.
If your business is doing between $1 and $3 million a year in revenue, you are in what we call the swamp. And it sucks, but that's okay. What it means is you're too busy to work.
If you're going to do it, do it. Say what you can do.
Do what you say.
Do what you say. If you can't do it, don't say you can do it. Don't over-leverage yourself. Don't over-leverage a decision and then jump in and kind of dip a toe. I think I'll try it out. No, think if you're going to try it out beforehand, but when it's time to go, dive. Finish it. Find out. Come out the other side. Don't leave it and go, ooh, if I just would have. That keeps me up at night. I think it keeps a lot of us up at night. When you half-ass something, you just don't know whether you failed or succeeded, got what you want or didn't get what you want. Finding out and looking in the mirror and going, I didn't half-ass it. I went all the way. I found out, and that ain't for me. Or I found out, and you damn right that is for me. That's a great place to get to. But the limbo of not knowing, if you half-ass something, the limbo of going, I hedged my bet.
What could have happened?
You don't know.
Exactly.
Were you surprised when your dad said that to you?
Yeah.
You don't know what could happen if you over-leverage yourself. You don't know what could happen, what could become, what could do, what could achieve. You don't know because you failed and you gave up. Failure is a pathway. It's a pathway where all of us have gone to and all of us will lead to, because without failure, you will go nowhere.
And you were going to take a pivot in life trajectory?
I wouldn't have been in the top 100 things I thought he would have said. I was fully stabilizing in that moment. As I said, I called Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. He'll have had a beer. He's already had dinner. Not Monday, because that's the first day of the work week. He'll be a little more stressed. Catch him at Tuesday when I unload this that I don't want to go to law school, I want to go to film school. And I really thought he was going to go, you want to do what? Again, the family I grew up in, the idea of me thinking that the idea of going into film, it's like a very Saturday idea, a hobby idea, not a job. And when I shared it with him, the pause that he took, another bead of sweat started on my back of my neck before he goes, well, don't half-ass it. Now, I will say this, though. I do know now, and I didn't know it then, and I've realized it in the last 10 years, the way that I asked him is part of the reason he gave me that answer. I really wasn't asking him. I called him and said, Dad, what do you got, monkey man? He said, I don't want to go to law school anymore. I want to go to film school. I didn't go, I'm not sure about law school. I think I may want to go to, if I'd have stuttered into that, I think he would have, again, heard me half-assing what I wanted and gone.
In the process of being told to not half-ass it, you didn't half-ass it.
The way I asked. He asked, and he heard my own conviction. And I think what he had in that moment was what I think every parent wants to hope to have with their kids, is that, we raise our kids to go in a structured form. Follow this, and you can get most of what you want in life. And that can work. But what do we really want our kids to do? We want them to follow that and then bust out of it one day and not even ask our permission. And that's when we're going, that's my boy, that's my girl, that's my child. We wanted to break out. And I think what he heard then was I was breaking out without really asking his permission. And I was clear. I spoke up. I didn't stutter. My voice was out of my throat a little bit. And I think that was part of why in that moment he gave me the answer, don't half-ass.
Do you think that sentiment carried forward into how you got the role for Dazed and Confused, that I'm going to continue to lean in, I'm on the front foot, I'm 10 toes down?
Yes. Now, how much that direct sentiment from that night when he told me don't half-ass it had to do with that? I mean, yeah, it did have something to do with it. Look, when he said don't half-ass it, he was, and I talk about this in the book, he wasn't only giving me permission, he was giving me a responsibility. He was going, I knew I had his word with me in my future decisions. I was making them for more than myself. I wanted to fail less because I didn't want to embarrass him. And that was extra motivation, extra strength, extra courage, extra sobriety, extra like, well, let's find out. Go for it, man. Go for it. It carried on into other stories of other jobs. Time to Kill with Joe Schumacher going, I want the lead. That's me going, I want to find out. And Dad told me not to half-ass it back there a few years ago. You know, so if I don't go for it, if I embarrass myself, I'm embarrassing him. So that was also some incentive and some weight behind those moves that I made, some of them.
Are you a brave person in that way, do you think?
I don't know. People say that I don't think I take enough risk. I'm told that people whose opinion I admire think that that's my greatest asset, that I take the risk I'll take. And the bravery I'll take with it.
And you still have a hunger for more?
I think I'm still chicken shit. I mean, not overall, but I think there's many things that I'm not fully assing. I think there's many things that I'm still could take further, that there's still many things that more risk I could take and more bravery I could have. Yeah.
Could you tell that story? The Dazed and Confused story of leaning in, of taking that risk?
Yeah, so, I mean, the initial one started when I went to, on a Thursday night, went to my favorite bar at the top of the Hyatt, because I knew the bartender, he was at film school with me, he'd give me free vodka and tonic, so I went there. I get there that night, he brings me and my girlfriend a vodka and tonic, tells me, hey, there's a guy at the end of the bar producing a movie, let me introduce you to him. I walk over, introduce him to him. 4 hours later, that man, Don Phillips, legendary casting director, who was actually a producer on Dazed and Confused, we get kicked out of that bar. I've had as many vodka and tonics as he had since I sat down, so I'm not leaving easily either. And I'm standing up for my new friend, who we hadn't done anything to get kicked out of the bar. We really hadn't. We were just kind of standing on top of the tables, imitating some golf shots we had played on similar courses in the past. So we get not so politely escorted out, and he's in a cab, or we're in a cab. He's riding with me to my apartment, going to drop me off before he heads back to his hotel. He pulls out a joint, or I pulled out a joint, start smoking. He goes, hey, you ever done any acting? And I said, man, I was in a, Trisha Yearwood video for a second, kind of more of a modeling job. I was in a Middle Light commercial for about that long. I go, I don't know if you call that acting. He goes, well, you might come to this address tomorrow morning, 9:30. You might be right for this part. It's this character called Wooderson in this movie, Dazed Confused. I think you might be right for the part. Now, this is 3-something in the morning, so 9:30 came really quickly, and I was on time probably 5 minutes early. And we were already pretty tuned at this time. Now, mind you, I get there, I walk in, they go, Matthew? I go, yes. They go, Don left the script for you. I open it up, it's signed by him. Hey, here's the part, Wooderson. I got 3 scenes in there, 3 lines. They're all marked. Check them out. I think you might be right for it. Good luck. Let me know. We'll call you in for an audition. I go away. I go look at these 3 lines. One of them was what I like to call these days a launch pad line, which is a line that sometimes they'll have in a script where
I wanted the word cuppa, as in cup of tea, I thought it would be great to mix with hug. When I saw the domain was available, I was like, I'm taking it, I'm trademarking it, I'm going with it. Hi, I'm Aaron, I'm the owner of Cuppa Pug. We are not a traditional cafe. When I saw Cuppa Pug go live, that's when it all clicked.
if that character means that line, and that character's not playing that line as an attitude or a wink or a joke, if that character means that line, you could write a book on it. You could write a book based on that reality. And that line in Dazed and Confused from the character Wooderson was a line when he's leaning against the wall outside the pool hall. High school girls walk by, he checks one of them's backside as they go by, and his buddy says, Wooderson, you got to cut that out, man. You're going to end up in jail. And Wooderson says, no, man. That's what I love about those high school girls, man. I get older, they say the same age. That line, I went, who is that? There's a book on somebody. that's not trying to be cute, if that guy's not trying to say something coy and clever, if he believes I've got life figured out, man, this is...
If you believe you have life figured out, you can do whatever you want. Nobody will stop you, nobody will dictate you, and nobody will tell you otherwise. So do with what you have, say with what you want to say, and do the things that you want to do now, because if not, other people will do it for you, and you will not be ahead of the pack. You'll be behind in the pack.
Hi, North Star. So that line informed who the character was. I go, I read for it. I remember the first time I got called back because they said the sound was bad. And now I come back, I don't know if the sound was bad or the fact that I just needed to come back was an excuse to come back and read for Richard Linklater, the director, who I did read for, and I got the part. Now the role was also based on, as I wrote about in the book, who I thought my brother was when I was 11. My 17-year-old brother was already my hero. He was cooler than James Dean. And we had one day where his car was broke down, and my mom and I were supposed to pick him up from school, and he wasn't where he was supposed to be. We're looking for him. I'm looking at the back of our station wagon, and there I see this silhouette of this guy leaning against a brick wall, left boot heel against the brick wall, leaning back, lazy, cig in the right hand, smoking, and it was my brother. And in that silhouette, he was 13 feet tall, coolest dude in the world, and just as I went to go, wait, there's Pat! I remembered I was going to get big trouble for smoking, so I won't say it's him. My mom goes, who? I go, nothing. But that image in my 11-year-old eyes, that was Wooderson. So we get to the set one night, and I just go in for what's supposed to be a makeup wardrobe test, meaning put on makeup, put on wardrobe. When the director Linklater can leave the set and gets a minute, he comes, checks you out, eyeballs, gives you a few notes, and you say goodbye, I'll see you when I come back for work. Well, on this night, I come out of the trailer, Linklater shows up, has a look, as he's walking up, his hands go out, he's just going, yeah, Wooderson. It's like peach pants. Is that a nudes t-shirt? I like that. What's that over there, that tattoo? That's a Black Panther tattoo. Yeah. Look at the hair, the comb over. I like it. I said, cool. About to say goodbye, I think. And he goes, say, man, he goes, you think, Wooderson's been with the typical hot chicks in school, the cheerleaders and stuff. I'm like, yeah. He goes, you think Wooderson would be interested in the redheaded intellectual? And I'm like, yeah, man, Wooderson loves all types of chicks. And he goes, well, listen, the actress Marissa Ribisi is over here in her car. She's got her nerd friends in the back. It's the last day of school. When time to kill is when all of a sudden I noticed, oh, wow, I'm famous. I've cashed a new check that I didn't know about, where I say the world become a mirror. There was no more anonymity. That was a whole drug.
I think one of the themes of your worldview that I've become familiar with is alchemizing bad times into good ones. A reminder that things that seem bad can end up good. And in retrospect, I think it's obvious and almost romantic to think about that alchemy in that way. But in the moment, it's basically impossible.
Yeah.
How can people, or how do you have more of that perspective during a hard time?
Yeah. Well, look, a couple things. First off, I probably start off intellectualizing something that I know I probably should believe in but don't believe in it, and convince myself, even to an extent to trick myself, that, to sit here and go, well, you just tell yourself, this too shall pass. Okay, great. Well, what the hell's that mean? Even if it's true. In the moment, you're like, what are you fucking talking about, man? I'm in the debit section. I'm in a warning section. This sucks. I think that how much I'm conscious of it or not, my undeniable optimism and faith that this isn't all it is. And if it is, so what? That's okay. Well, then really, so what? You know what I mean? What's the big deal? Two, it minimizes. I seem to have a tendency not to make a bigger deal out of things that other people make a bigger deal. Dramas. I don't like to create false drama. When it comes and it's hard, I am affected. I get the blues. I get sad. I get mad. I'm a shit to be around. I can't get to sleep. I got demons in my own head trying to work the riddle out. Why did this happen? That's
whatever those demons are. Know that they will keep you up at night, waiting and waiting and waiting until you do the thing, until you make your life right now.
The thing that's tough for me is I think that any bad thing that happens to me, my initial reaction is, well, what'd you do wrong to lead to this? Like in a relationship, Camilla and I get in an argument. My mind immediately goes, well, what'd you do in the last 2 weeks to let this get to a point where you just had to raise your voice, or she had to raise her voice at you? Usually there's some P's and Q's that were not handled to get to that point. So I like it when things are running like this. The challenge when things are running great is we all tend to think, aha, this is it. I've found it. Bottle it. If I realize this, I can maintain this forever. And the truth is bullshit. No, we can't. But we can minimize it. There are habits that I notice of things I take care of in my life, health-wise, faith-wise, father-wise, husband-wise, that I know that if I'm doing that consistently, there's less valleys. There's less stress. There's less warning signs. There's less problematic, oh shit, how did we get in this? So there's consistently behaviors that I know I can act upon that have worked in the past.
We'll get back to talking to Matthew in 1 minute, but first I need to tell you about Maui Nui. Not all meat is created equally, and that is why I partnered with Maui Nui. You might be thinking, why have you only got one Maui Nui stick? And the reason for that is that all of the rest of them were eaten. If that doesn't give you credibility of just how nice these are, I don't know what will. Maui Nui delivered the healthiest red meat on the planet directly to your door. It has the highest protein per calorie ratio on the market, up to 53% more than grass-fed beef, and it is the only stress-free, 100% wild-harvested red meat available. These venison sticks are a complete life changer. I take them with me when I travel on the road, or I need just convenient quality protein throughout the day. I absolutely love them, and so does Tim Ferriss, and Andrew Huberman, and Peter Attia, because they're the best. Right now, you can get 20% off your first order by going to the link in the description below, or heading to mauinuivenison.com/modernwisdom using the code modernwisdom at checkout. That's MAUINUI venison.com/modernwisdom and modern wisdom at checkout.
They set me up and schemed to ruin my life.
Just apologize for what you did. Just apologize.
No, Tony, no. The whole world is gonna know the truth.
His damn hair is what he is.
I'm just getting started.
Dead Man's Wire, rated R.
Let's cover 10 pro tips for working with the Cursor agent. So I've got Cursor open and my agent on the right. And the first tip is to use plan mode. So in the agent input, I'm going to hit Command N to make a new chat. And then I can hit Shift Tab to switch and toggle into plan mode. Now what plan mode can do is it can actually go look at my code base, research and understand how my app is set up, and then help me create a high quality plan to implement a feature. So this is on my personal website. I'm going to say, let's make a new page to show my top artists on Spotify. And I'm going to hit enter. Now I've already set up Spotify in my app and I'm using it.
I'm fascinated by people who take responsibility for things that aren't their responsibility. We often get told pieces of advice.
I do that a lot. I take responsibility for a lot of things that do not condone me, or that do not dictate me, because I am afraid of taking responsibility. If that makes sense. Because that responsibility was not my fault. It was not mine to take. And knowing this, you must take responsibility of your life now, because if not, you will be a rat in the race for your whole entire life. Which I don't think you want to be playing that game for your whole entire life. So take the hands and grip the wheel the way you want to do it. Because even if you take responsibility for other people's actions, you're still taking responsibility for other people's actions.
World, it might not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. And one of the ways to unburden yourself is to assume
Apologies for that, but let's continue. That was a woodpecker.
Everything is, but there is a cohort of people.
Well, it's an arrogant notion. Yeah.
Look, if only I could have stepped in. Yeah, you make yourself.
But
a
also
center.
the first side. I'm the reason that I stepped in shit, which is also an asset. Even if someone go, why are you giving yourself so much credit for screwing that up?
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
I mean, look, I think part of this for me comes from we didn't get in trouble in my family for the bad deed. We got in trouble for getting caught. So
Hey, that's me with my family. I got in trouble with just getting caught. Not with the bad deed, but just with getting caught.
times where I can screw up and get away with it, I feel better than times that maybe I didn't screw up as bad, but got busted. Because I got caught, because I got busted, because I got myself in the pickle, because things didn't go how I wanted it to go or how I believed it could go.
Same here. Because if you don't believe and think of it going a good way, it will only go downhill and it will spiral, it will snowball, it will affect everything the way you look at it. Connections, opportunity, optimism, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Is that once it snowballs, and it keeps on going and keeps on going and keeps on going until it truly snowballs.
Is there something that you try to remember about the upside of a crisis during a crisis, or do we just need to ride that out? Because I think that
That's a
perspective,
good question. Yeah, right?
zooming out, would be so beautiful. And in retrospect, if only you could give yourself the gift of distance, of time.
Yeah.
And yet you know something hard is going to come again, and you're going to be swept away by the wave.
I mean, for me, I think it's an obvious answer to both, because you can't jump to the objective right away and go, Inshallah, oh, fate'll have it, this too shall pass, I'm fine. No, because then you don't deal with the crisis. I do have a pretty quick threshold for being able to laugh, like honestly start giggling when I'm in the shit. Because I've found that I'm able to handle the shit better if I just start quicker. I start going, "Are you kidding me?" And I'll get objective and remind myself things like, "You gonna die, McConaughey," which gives me that this is not as big of a deal as I thought. I also quickly somehow comes in my head, not right now, but one day this is gonna be a great fucking story. I quickly go to that. I'll project forward into those places that ease me a little bit, and at least maybe look at it with a good eye.
You're almost imagining being that future you, laughing back at this present you.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to the faith and belief that again, I'm nervous before I'm going to go speak or something. I got a little thing in my wallet. You're going to die one day, McConaughey, and I'm like, that relaxes me. If I'm going in, complacent, I got another note and tell myself, what you're about to say and do will outlive you, so you better fucking do it well, to get me more on edge.
This balance is so...
What you're about to say and do will outlive you. It will outlive everything the way that you are. And the way that I look at it is nothing will outlive you besides your doers, or your dreams, goals, and aspirations. That will outlive you.
Fascinating. Being able to thread that needle, being able to find the golden mean, as Aristotle talked about. But yeah, I've heard you say that you should make a sense of humor your default emotion.
Yeah.
It doesn't sit well with us. Your hard-earned money sitting in traditional bank accounts, collecting more dust than interest. So we reimagined savings with Vanguard Cash Plus to offer up to 8 times more interest.
I like that.
Vanguard.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is Base 44.
Linklater and I came up with that in a conversation about 12 years ago. Richard Linklater. And we were just talking about how mad and angry and upset and offended people get if they don't know how to react, if they don't have an opinion on something. And we were like, yeah, man, wouldn't the world be a better place? Be easier to get along with everybody? If the default emotion, if you're not sure how to respond, was it? Okay. Now, most people think, they go, well, that's insensitive. But it's not insensitive. You usually think that means you're not giving the crisis credit if you can laugh at it. And I wholeheartedly disagree.
Oh, that there's some sort of tribute in solemnity.
Yeah, that you're not core enough about it, man. Whatever that, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you're not taking it seriously. You're actually putting me down, and just because you're saying you don't feel victimized, and you laugh at this situation, you're telling me you're making fun of me being a victim. No. I'm trying to deal, because especially when we talk about the book, if it's inevitable too. I laugh a lot quicker when I know I'm in an inevitable pickle. I have no other resource to get out of it that I know of. So I'm going to start giggling a little quicker, so I keep my eyes open and figure my way. Maybe because sometimes the hard work and the endurance and the elbow grease, the work harder, we were talking about, that hustle, is not the way out. Sometimes I need to back up, laugh, have a sip of my favorite whatever, and dance my way through the raindrops out of this sumbitch. Maybe it's not banging your head on the wall. Maybe it's backing up and seeing, oh, I got a key in my pocket that unlocks the door. I've been bloodying my skull over, banging into it.
I do wonder why. I like being serious. I'm serious about the things I do. I'm serious about this podcast, as you might be able to tell by the fact we've renovated an entire barn. But there is something that you can take that too far. The seriousness can become a kind of rigidity, as opposed to being dynamically persistent. You know, taking things too seriously, not swaying in the breeze.
Right.
Presuming that you like the things you do and you want to keep doing them, the less robust and flexible you are, the more likely you are to break in those ways. And I think that humor is a lovely bit of ballast that helps to balance that out.
I would frame it this way: be very serious about sense of humor. Be very serious about comedy. I'm extremely serious about comedy. And I you know, do I take myself seriously? Yes. But I also take seriously the shit I don't. Do I want to know everything? Yeah, but I also take seriously the shit that I don't know. And go, be serious about that you don't know that. Be serious about that this is freaking funny, or at least it's gonna be. So I try to take the comedy seriously.
Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.